The Dutch pirates strike again, and this time they are trying to steal a Chinese company, Nexperia.
So 3 days ago, Dutch government took control of a Chinese-owned chip maker, Nexperia. But the factory of Nexperia are mostly in China. So today, China announced that all the chips produced by those factories are not shipping out of China.
The Dutch government just committed the dumbest move in European industrial history. The Dutch seized a Chinese chipmaker to protect Europe. 3 days later, Europe's auto industry was begging for mercy. This is the most catastrophic self-inflicted wound in modern European industrial policy. Let's break down exactly how they destroyed themselves.
The Dutch government has taken control of chipmaker Nexperia, citing fears that its Chinese parent company, Wingtech, could transfer sensitive technology to China. Authorities said the move protects Dutch and European economic security and gives the government power to block company decisions deemed harmful.
Despite the move, production at Nexperia, headquartered in Nijmegen, can continue as normal. Nexperia makes semiconductors used in European cars and consumer electronics. The announcement sent Wingtech's shares down 10% in Shanghai on Monday. Nexperia said it is consulting lawyers and seeking government support to protect its rights. It noted that a recent Amsterdam court ruling suspending its chairman, Zhang Xuezheng, also affected decision-making and operations. Wingtech was placed on the United States Entity List in December 2024 over national security concerns.
Notice the word fears, not evidence, not proof, just fears. The Dutch seized a private company based on what might happen. Here's the reality they ignored. Nexperia's critical operations are in Dongguan, China, producing 6 billion chips every single month. The Dutch seized a headquarters building in Holland, while China controls the actual production. That's like stealing someone's mailbox and thinking you own their house. And this wasn't about Dutch security concerns. Wingtech was placed on the US Entity List in December of 2024. Washington made a call, and the Netherlands jumped. Now let's see how that worked out. Now let's check out some comments. And China just banned Nexperia from all exports. Ha 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 ha. The Dutch aren't that powerful. China would crush them in an economic war. When Wingtech bought Nexperia, they owned the company and the technology it has. No? I didn't think the Netherlands was another pawn of the United States.
Don't you love a story that a perpetrator suffered well-deserved consequences? This one comes only 3 days later. So 3 days ago, Dutch government took control of a Chinese-owned chip maker, Nexperia. But the factory of Nexperia are mostly in China. So today, China announced that all the chips produced by those factories are not shipping out of China. Panic. But that is consequence. Everything has a consequences. Somebody need to learn that.
3 days. That's how long Dutch leverage lasted. China's export ban hit Nexperia's Dongguan facility, which produces over 50 billion chips annually. These aren't fancy AI chips, they're basic semiconductors that go into every single car, appliance, and industrial machine. The European Automotive Association, ACEA, immediately warned of production stoppages. BMW and Volkswagen went into crisis mode. The Alliance for Automotive Innovation said US auto plants could be affected within weeks. Why? Because China controls 60% of global semiconductor packaging. The Dutch thought they had leverage. China just showed them who actually controls the supply chain. Okay, now for some more comments. The US isn't anyone's friend. The US wants a weak EU and the EU falls for it every time. Look at all the US has done and ask yourself, are they really a friend? China is very smart. Netherlands exposed themselves as an untrustworthy trading partner. China already have all the rights and capability of Nexperia, which was a Dutch company in distress bought by a China firm. No impact to China except loss of asset. But Europe gets no more auto chips from Nexperia. Being a friend of America is fatal.
The Dutch pirates strike again, and this time they are trying to steal a Chinese company, Nexperia. This is your favorite half Chinese. Please like, share, follow, and also follow my YouTube so I can liberate you. Many of you are asking what I thought about it, and I already made a video about it, and it will be online the 15th, that is at 6 a.m. Amsterdam time on YouTube. But let me give you a short insight. According to Reuters, the Dutch government has taken control of Chinese-owned computer chip maker Nexperia, ratcheting up tensions with Beijing as a global fight rules over technology intellectual property, especially around semiconductors. The government said late on Sunday that it has intervened in Nijmegen headquarters. Nexperia will manufacture chips for cars and consumers electronics. It cited worries about the possible transfer of technology to Nexperia's Chinese parent company, Wingtech. Yes, you heard that correctly. The reason is, again, worries about the possible transfer of technology to Nexperia's Chinese parent company, Wingtech. That is the same as sentencing an innocent man to a death sentence. And when the innocent man asks, "Judge, why are you sending me to death? I didn't do anything." And then the judge will reply, "Well, I have worries that you possibly might one day kill somebody. So I sentence you to death right now." No, this is not about worries from the Netherlands. This is not about national security. This is about looting. Something that the Netherlands knows all too well. A little bit too well. Anyway, you can watch my whole entire video in just a couple of hours. So I hope you will go and watch it on my YouTube channel. I might post it also on TikTok. I don't know yet. I have to wait for tomorrow. And yeah, that is it. Let me know what you'll think of this in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. We're not uncivilized barbarians, unlike some others. Please like, share, and if you have not yet, then follow. This was your favorite half Chinese, and as always, have a great day.
This comparison is pretty accurate. You can't seize a company based on possible threats in any legitimate legal system, but call it national security and apparently anything goes. Here's what the seizure accomplished. Nexperia China told its employees to ignore all orders from Dutch headquarters. The company is now split into two. The Dutch control an empty office building. China controls the factories, the employees, and the 6 billion chips per month that Europe desperately needs. And now, Dutch Economy Minister Karamans, or however you pronounce it, is begging for meetings with Chinese officials to resolve the crisis he created. From tough guy to beggar in 3 days. That's gotta be some kind of record. And now for more comments. The Dutch government and people revealed their gangster nature. This definitely announces to the world that we in the Netherlands are like this, and we can rob everything. But don't you do anything to me. But is it possible? The Netherlands will pay the necessary price for what it has done. Now China has responded with export control. Nexperia is lame without China minerals. Dutch now pissed China. A good show to come. Didn't it learn anything from Lithuania and Poland? It must be an American directive. And of course, the Netherlands is part of the European system. Today we see the beginning of the disintegration of the European Union, and as we see it, tomorrow we will see them panting after Beijing. Let's be clear about what just happened. The Dutch made 3 catastrophic miscalculations. First, they assumed seizing the headquarters meant controlling the company, but in modern manufacturing, the headquarters is just an address. The value is in the factories, the workers, and the supply chain, all in China. Second, they forgot that China controls 7 of the world's top 10 ports. When you're dependent on a country for manufacturing, logistics, and distribution, you don't have leverage. They do. Third, they thought acting as America's proxy would protect them. Instead, they sacrificed their own auto industry, which employs millions of Europeans, to serve Washington's geopolitical agenda. This is the same mistake Europe made with Russian energy. Assume you have leverage because you're the customer. Learn the hard way that the supplier controls the relationship when there's no alternative. Negotiate oversight, establish monitoring, work with Wingtech on legitimate security concerns. Instead, they chose the nuclear option, and now Europe's entire auto supply chain is hostage to a crisis the Dutch created. So here's a score. The Dutch seized a Chinese company on behalf of American interests. China cut off chip exports. Europe's auto industry is in crisis. And the Dutch minister is now desperately begging Beijing for mercy. This is what happens when you let Washington write your industrial policy, when you assume you can bully the country that makes everything you need, when you prioritize geopolitics over basic economic reality. Hit subscribe if you want to follow this disaster as it unfolds. I'll be covering every humiliating twist. Drop a like if you think the Dutch just made the biggest unforced error in European history. And tell me in the comments, will they back down or double down on this catastrophe? Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Here on the horizontal axis, we have the amount one chooses to, as the young people say, fuck around. And here, vertically, the corresponding quantity of finding out. You see, as we move along this line, the relationship is quite direct.